All right, students, hi, and welcome to Safe Grad Summit. This is a sustainable development goal lesson using Fortnite Creative, and what you're going to do is you are going to make the single greatest Safe Grad experience an environment that you can think of using the Mountain Ridge Island, or if there's another island which is more fitting to your terrain and your geography, like the desert, for instance, go choose one of those islands. But I will walk through the Mountain Ridge Island and what I've built here just to give you some ideas. Now, before we start, the reason you're doing this, Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being, has a target, and the target 3.6 says we have to cut in half the number of accidents and deaths, injuries and deaths that occur due to traffic accidents by the year 2030. SafeGrad is a wonderful way to reduce the number of injuries and deaths that occur each year because of traffic accidents in the world. So what you're going to do is you are going to address target 3.6 for the SDGs, and you are going to do it in the coolest way ever by making the best, imagine the best Safe Grad experience you can and build it here on the Mountain Ridge Island. Just to get you started, I'm going to show you some hints or show you some tricks about what I dropped in, and I'll also give you a walkthrough right now just very quickly so you can see what island you're about to step into. Down below we have the ocean. You can see the ocean going off into the distance. We have some satellite islands out there just off the coast, just a few of them. Not really usable, but maybe you can come up with something cool for out there. We have a nice little lake or pond down here by the ocean with a weird sort of, look at this, weird sort of canyon that curls up and around to the look off, but then it comes back down around here. Sorry if I'm moving too fast. Then we have a forested area over on the right, or I guess the right coming from the ocean. That's a deep sort of forested area, and you can decide what you want to do there. You can chop down the trees, or you can do something really cool in the trees. As we move up the hill, you have a lot of open grassland with a few trees scattered in. Then you've got the different plateaus of the mountains over there, the mountain ridge. So that's where the island gets its name over there, the mountain ridge. You've got some ridges over here, and look, even more ridges going up there. At the top, you have a larger lake with a central island. And that's about it. That's basically what you're looking at land-wise here. So you can already start to think about what you want to do with certain zones and what would be really cool and what would people like. Okay, so the 3 goals for this lesson that your teacher may have shared with you, the lesson plan may have shared with you, or I'm going to share right now. Number 1, you have to create a safe environment. So safety first. We can't have a Safe Grad Summit and have it be more dangerous than doing other activities. So safety first. So everything you do, make sure you think about safety and you're able to explain to your teacher what safety aspects you considered. Number 2, inclusivity. Think about all the students in your secondary school or in your high school, all the types of students, the ones that love NASCAR, the ones that play chess, the ones that love NASCAR and play chess, your athletes, your scholars, the ones that are always in the library. Think about all these students that you're graduating with and build an event for them. You can have one central event, like I'm going to show you out on that island in the center there, that everyone can gather around, but then also make sure that you've considered, little satellite events that, a group of people would really love and another group of people would really love something else. So I'll walk you through and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So consider bad weather. You know what? If it's pouring down rain, which we hope it isn't, and maybe you should consider it's not going to be for your Safe Grad, but if it is, I've just plunked in a lodge there, which means a lot of the activities can happen inside. Maybe some video game playing can be in there, things that you normally wouldn't put outdoors. However, saying that, if you look here, I put down some leather couches in the field and we have a sort of drive-in movie experience here. So you can sit in the big outdoors, have a projector up here on the hill, and you can watch a movie, and I even brought in a sign from the drive-in movie theater. I've got some fishing happening down here in the pond. So again, if you like to fish, if people like to fish, they can come and catch some fish in the pond. Look in the woods here. I have this sort of Ewok village, or sort of like a clubhouse or treehouse type of maybe adventure area. Maybe a high ropes or a rope climbing area. So I built that in the trees for the people that love the outdoors and rope climbing. So yeah, I mentioned safety and I mentioned inclusivity, and the third factor you need to consider here is fun, right? So you want to make it fun, safe, and inclusive of everyone. I have some bunk rows here because of course you are staying overnight here. This is not somewhere where you come for a few hours and then go home. You're going to be staying overnight. So I thought best buddies could bunk up in a sort of camp-like atmosphere, but it's more just lodging in case the weather's bad. You may even choose to sleep outside, and again, you can explain that to your teacher when the time comes if you chose to go that way. As we move towards the big lake at the top, you can see we've got some rowboats appearing here over on the right, but we also have some motorboats. So there's some speedboats, and again, some motorboats. I tried to balance them for safety's sake. It's quite a big lake, so you could have a lot of fun out here on this lake. But again, try to talk about how you included safety. This is the place that I thought everyone could gather, this little central island here. And you can see I've set up a nice little campfire set up here on the island next to the water for safety. You may be wondering why I put the fire literally on top of the water over here. And my answer is safety. So remember, safety first, right? So I could have had it up here by the trees. I could have had it in the field, but instead I decided to keep the fire as close to the water as possible, just in case things go south fire-wise. So there's a little bit of my fun, a little bit of my rationale for safety. Again, you are not copying what I did, but I'm just showing you, the potential that this island has to offer. I didn't really do too much up on the ridges, and I'd really love to see, and I'm sure your teacher would love to see what you would do with the ridges up there. All the ridges up, it is called Mountain Ridge, so there's quite a few ridges up there. This is really cool. I realized that there's different types of people attending my Safe Grad event. So I brought in some golf carts, and yes, I did regulate their speed, so you can't go at speeds that'll actually end up being lethal here. But we have a little golf carts regulated here, and we have little wickets, and this is basically just a race, little golf cart race course down. And who doesn't love driving golf carts? It's one of the greatest things about golfing, to be honest. And so I have a little race. You can see they go up through the canyon and up to the top and they'll look out. And I think they come back down this little slope here and finish the race down by the other little lake. So again, I have a golf cart race. Why? Because it's safety, inclusivity, and of course fun. And when you're graduating secondary school, most of you are of the age to drive. So that, driving the golf carts is a fun little thing. There's some fishing down here. Again, some more paddle boats. See, I've got the little paddle boards if you want to try paddle boarding here, not in the ocean. I did not develop my ocean at all because I only used about 45 minutes to build what you see here. And again, that includes the thought about why am I doing this? Why is this going in there? So make sure you think as you're adding things and be able to justify. The whole point of this is that when you put something in, you can justify why you added it or why you took the trees out, little certain things like that. Because the justification of what you did is probably equally as important as what you did here. So I'll take you back here to give you another nice little view here. This is Safe Grad Summit. The island you're looking at is called Mountain Ridge. There's a planning document that your teacher may have that actually it's on paper and it's a top view of this island, and it allows you to actually, you know, plan out, blueprint your island before you come in, and your teacher may want you to do that. So make sure you check in on that. It's a beautiful space, and it's a perfect space for you to plan the ultimate Safe Grad Summit, the Safe Grad Getaway for you and your peers. Try to make it as personal as possible. Think about who you're graduating with and maybe who their friends are or the guests they might bring. Think about all those people and try to include as much as you can in this island for everyone. Remember, safety, inclusivity, and of course, fun. So one last time, you're doing this because this is a sustainable development goal. It's one of the United Nations goals, good health and well-being. And the target under SDG 3, 3.6, says that we have to cut in half the number of injuries and deaths due to traffic accidents every year. And this has to happen by the year 2030. And Safe Grads are an incredible way to reduce that number and keep people safe at one of the most celebratory times in their lives. So I hope you enjoy this. If you do enjoy this, there are three more lessons like this that target specific sustainable development goals. I can assure you that all the other three are just as fun and just as engaging as this. And so if you're interested in those, please ask your educator, your teacher about those, because there are more things you could be doing to address the sustainable development goals in Fortnite Creative. And this is just one of them. So I hope you enjoy Safe Grad Summit. I hope you stay safe if you are graduating. And give a shout out, maybe share screenshots, anything you've built, share them with Epic Games, share them with Fortnite, and share them with the Unreal Educator crew on social media, or maybe your teacher could do that instead for you. Capture as much media as you can. Prepare to show your teacher either a walkthrough video like I'm doing, screenshots of what you built, or sit down with your teacher and actually walk through and say why you added things, why you didn't add things, because again, the most important part of this is that you're able to justify and talk about your rationale for what you did here on Safe Grad Summit. I hope you enjoyed this lesson.